80 miles off the coast of Long Island is a place deep down below the surface where light barely penetrates the bottom. The species of fish that make their home here have special traits that allow them to endure in this extreme environment. Our destination is the deep waters on the edge of the continental shelf. Our target is the predators that reside there. Our journey begins in Montauk Point, New York, where preparation for the next day of fishing is already underway. Many of the anglers have traveled all day for this once-in-a-lifetime fishing trip aboard the Viking Starship. The seaworthy 140-foot Starship was designed for long-range fishing trips. At the helm is Captain Stephen Forsberg, third generation of fishermen who's no stranger to fishing the deep canyons off our coast.
Somebody ever said you can only fish in one spot for the rest of your life, I know where it would be. It'd be 140 miles from Montauk, and I would never want to go anywhere else. It's just because you catch the variety of stuff. When you go down 600 feet of water, the bite, you don't know what the codfish. We catch a lot of codfish now, more and more codfish to the east, on the eastern canyon than we've ever caught before. We'll see a lot of pollock coming back strong. Tilefish, we're seeing wreckfish now showing up, barrelfish showing up, which we never saw before, so that the canyons are coming alive.
The Starship steams throughout the night to our destination, while below deck anglers sleep in their bunks and dream about the fishing day ahead. As morning arrives, anglers awake to the aroma of fresh brewed coffee and breakfast being prepared by the boat chef Kobe. As we approach our first fishing destination, the activity increases as fishermen ready their gear. Fishing depths from 400 to 800 feet, it's essential that you use the right gear. A medium-weight conventional boat rod between 7 and 8 feet appears to be a popular choice on these trips. The reel should have a high line capacity and low gear ratio for bringing these bruises up from the deep. The Sharpies on the boat like to use 80-pound braid with a 60-pound shock lead of about 20 to 30 feet to absorb the stress during the initial hook set. Some anglers choose to use electric reels that can definitely save your arms when struggling with these deep bottom species like tilefish and wreckfish. Just to get your bait down to the bottom, it can take as long as 3 minutes. Fortunately, these bottom dwellers aren't too finicky. Most on board use a combination of squid and clam. The terminal tackle is a simple high-low bottom rig tied with 80-pound fluorocarbon to a swivel. The hooks used are 8-0 octopus style. Special attention is used to threading the bait on the hook to prevent the bait from spinning and getting tangled on the long way down to the bottom. The captain positioned the Viking Starship right over the structure, which is not an easy task in over 800 feet of water. Anxious fishermen scurry to get their lines in the water. Patience is so important when dropping down to the bottom in this depth. Be sure not to let your line down too quickly. This will prevent tangling on the way down to the bottom. The amount of weight needed will vary depending on tide and wind. You should be prepared to use anywhere from 12 to 24 ounces of lead. The bottom was full of life, and soon the under-over party boat dance began. When these fish hit, they hit hard, and a strong hook set is required. When the battle is on, steady pressure is the key to winning the fight. It's not uncommon to tussle with these fish for 20 minutes or more. When the battle nears the end, try to control the fish and keep it just under the surface so the mate has an easier time getting the fish in the boat. Wreckfish have become more abundant in the northeast waters lately. They are a member of the grouper family and are excellent eating. Good captains understand the importance of conservation and are careful not to overfish productive bottom. Captain Stephen will stay long enough on a piece of bottom to put everyone on the fish, but not long enough to clean it out. On these trips, you need to be prepared for anything. This sharp angler spotted a mahi near the surface and scored on light tackle. There is no downtime on the Viking Starship. As we steam to our next piece of bottom, we troll for tuna in the gin-clear canyon water. The captain has once again brought us to the fish on a new productive piece of bottom. When fishing these depths, you never know what you may catch. As the end of the day nears, Mike Caruso of the Fisherman hooks into the largest fish of the day. As the tilefish approaches the surface, surrounding anglers are amazed at the size of Mike's catch.
Woo! All right.
This monster tilefish tips the scale at 44 plus pounds.
Wow, what a great shot. Tile fishing on the Viking fleet. Woo! Awesome.
On the journey back to Montauk, the Viking crew and Captain Forrestberg cleaned and filleted the fare's catch. Nobody was skunked on this trip.
So you immediately notice that this is going to be different. We're dropping 24 ounces of lead. There's, 900 feet of water. You're cranking all day. The fish are biting. You get hit, and you're in for the fight of your life, really. I mean, it's a up to 40 pound fish, and it's going to take you, 15, 20 minutes to get that fish up. Pretty exciting, but definitely, fatiguing under a hot summer day like it was today. But one of the greatest adventures in fishing I've taken in a long time. Highly recommend it to anybody who really wants to venture offshore, see new things, learn a new style of fishing.
As the sun sets on the horizon and the ocean transforms into a lake, anglers are resting below deck or sharing fishing stories on the tranquil ride back to port.